Chapter 33. Zazu. Beware! The arch! Danger! Danger! Zazu burst through the door and flew at Archie, clawing at his eyes and blinding him momentarily. He screamed and swung his hammer wildly, barely missing Zazu as the bird dodged the blow. Hurry! Run! Silas said, grabbing the twins and pushing them toward the door. Zazu clawed at Archie again while they bolted outside. Archie groaned and swung the hammer, but missed the pair by mere inches. But Zazu did lose a few feathers. They fluttered down over the shed like fresh snowfall. Zazu, come on! Silas yelled back. The parrot cawed and flew through the door. Archie was still staggering around, but he would soon recover. They had to get moving. But the staff. What are you doing? Natasha yelled. Silas didn't have a choice. The staff was the key to saving his brother's life. He ran back toward the shed and grabbed it in his backpack. But Archie heard him coming. Whoosh! The hammer flew through the air at him. Silas ducked, and it landed on the gravel with a soft thunk at his feet. But it had almost taken his head off. If Archie wasn't half blinded by the parrot, he wouldn't have missed. That was close. Too close. Archie lurched for the wall with his tools. Silas didn't wait for more deadly instruments to come flying blindly at him. He grabbed the fallen hammer, slammed the door shut, and slid the hammer through the metal handles. Bang! Bang! Archie pounded on the door. He was trapped inside. For now. But Silas knew he'd find a way to escape soon, and he didn't plan to wait around for that to happen. He dashed down the trail, catching up with the twins. Zazu called and led the way, flying ahead and leading them to the rope bridge. They ducked behind an outcropping of sandy rocks. Zazu fluttered down and alighted on the staff. Good job, Zazu, Timothy said, stroking his soft feathers. He'd saved their lives. But then the seriousness of their situation returned. Silence flew over their group. Even Zazu looked worried, fidgeting around. The sun was about to rise. Pre-dawn light pricked at the horizon, casting a dull yellow sheen and chasing the dark skies and stars away. What do we do now? Natasha asked, exchanging worried looks with them. The way I see it, Silas said, we have two major problems, Archie and Scar. Right, Natasha agreed. It's time to tell our parents what we found. I'll take Timothy and go fetch our mother and tell her about Archie. Yep, we could call the cops from our cabin, Timothy said. We have proof, too. The saw? Silas said. Exactly, Natasha said. We could show the cops. They'll have to believe us now. Plus, we know he took Zazu, and there's more evidence in his shed. Sounds like a plan, Silas said, but then he trailed off, knowing what he had to do next. Natasha spied the look on his face. Don't even think about it. It's too dangerous. We're not letting you face him alone. Yeah, wait for us, Timothy said. We'll go with you. No, I have to deal with Scar by myself, Silas said. I won't put you at risk again. I'm the one who released him from the chest. I've got the staff, and he's got my brother. The twins took that in. They didn't like it, but they knew that he made up his mind. What are you going to do? Natasha asked in a worried voice. Well, he wants the staff, right? Silas said. So I'm going to trade it for my brother. Think it'll work? Timothy asked hopefully. I don't know, Silas said, biting his lower lip. Fear surged through him. He's really cunning and smart and treacherous. But I don't have a choice. I have to try. And what happens when he gets that staff? Natasha said. He'll become even more powerful. Maybe unstoppable. He could come after all of us next. Right. I'll think of something, Silas said. But doubt pulled in his heart. First, I have to see George. He's been missing for a whole day. In that moment, Silas remembered all the ways George annoyed him. But he remembered the nice parts, too. Them wearing matching big bro and little bro shirts, George cooing and giggling with delight when he saw Silas enter his room, all dimples and baby fat and milk burps. Then he remembered his whole family, The four of them snuggled on the sofa, watching animated movies together. Those were his best memories, now that I thought about it. You're right. Go save Gopher, Natasha said. I don't know what I'd do without my brother. You'd probably feel a whole lot less annoyed on a daily basis, Timothy said. But yeah, eventually you'd miss me being around to drive you crazy. You wish, Natasha said, but then she hugged him. Love you too. Ugh, gross, Timothy mimed. Get her off me. But really, it was clear he loved her too. Time was running short. They had to get moving now. The twins waved to Silas but refused to say goodbye, insisting that they'd see him later. Goodbye felt too final, but Silas had a bad feeling about it. He pulled his gaze off them as they crept toward the camp, keeping a lookout in case Archie got free and came after them again. The campgrounds typically appeared magical in the morning sun. Usually sunlight chased away nightmares, but not that day. Silas forced himself to turn and head in the other direction. Zazu took off from the staff, flying ahead and leading the way. The parrot would take him to Scar, but he already had a feeling he knew where they were heading as they tramped over the bridge. The elephant graveyard. He held the staff, using it as a walking stick. The staff began to pulse with dim light, growing faster and brighter with each step. Scar was waiting. Silas could feel it. Fear tried to claim him, but Silas fought against it. He remembered the baboon who had appeared. The past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Silas had already tried running away, and that hadn't fixed anything. In fact, it had only made everything worse. He had learned from his mistakes. Now he had to face them. He also remembered what his father said after the bridge accident. Courage is how you act when the trouble finds you. Well, the trouble had certainly found him now. Gopher, hang in there, he said, using the silly nickname. I'm coming to save you. This was his last chance.